Jack was transferred to a new school, a school known not for studying, but for fighting. The moment he stepped onto campus, he noticed upperclassmen bullying younger students, but when Jack showed up, everything changed. The bullies went quiet the instant they saw him. Everyone was scared of Jack, because at his previous school, he'd killed someone. No one dared to mess with him. When he walked into the classroom, the room fell silent. Jack went straight to his seat and lowered his head. Suddenly, the class nerd accidentally bumped into him. Jack glared at him, furious. The nerd quickly apologized. Hearing that, Jack closed his eyes and went back to sleep. The nerd sighed in relief and got back to work. His job was to deliver lunch to the upperclassmen every day. But that wasn't all. He also stole other students' phones and handed them to his boss, Alex. One day, Alex noticed there were fewer phones than before. He demanded to see the list. Scanning the names, he stopped at one and asked, "Who's this guy?" The nerd answered nervously, "He's the new kid. He's scary. I didn't want to mess with him." Hearing that, Alex got angry. He started beating the nerd, shouting, "I want his phone now." Terrified, the nerd had no choice but to agree. He ran to the teacher's office, saying, "I'm here to collect the phones." The principal didn't suspect a thing and handed him a bag full of phones. The nerd rushed to the bathroom, hesitating for a moment. He was terrified of Jack, but still, he stole his phone. Later, he went back to class and started returning the phones to the students. But when Jack reached out for his, he realized it was missing. He looked at the nerd and asked, "Where's my phone?" "It's in the bag," the nerd stammered. "It's not," Jack said coldly. The nerd tried to act innocent. "I just picked them up from the teacher's office." Then Jack noticed the bruises on the nerd's mouth. At that moment, he understood everything. Jack stood up and walked out of the classroom. The nerd panicked. He chased after him, calling out, "I'm sorry about your phone. If you want, I'll buy you a new one." But Jack just said quietly, "I already know." Then he left. The nerd stood there frozen, regret flooding his face. The next day, Jack arrived at school and saw Alex beating the nerd again. That sight triggered something inside him, memories of when he was bullied, helpless and alone. And suddenly, a dangerous thought formed in his mind.